Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another album review. And this one is going to be Order in Decline by Sum 41. Now, I did review one of the songs from this album. The first single, Out for Blood, I reviewed a while ago. You can go watch that if you want to. But I didn't review any other songs in this album simply because I didn't have time, because I was busy with other stuff. Like, trying to find a job, really visiting family and stuff like that, real life things. So that's pretty much why I didn't get around to reviewing the other songs that came out for this album, like Never There and 45 A Matter of Time. I didn't review those simply because I had real life things to do, but I'm going to be reviewing Sum 41 Order in Decline now. So I'd like to start by saying this is definitely the heaviest Sum 41 album to date. The last one, 13 Voices, was pretty heavy as well, along with Chuck. I think those three albums there, definitely the heaviest albums, but this one is definitely the heaviest one out of them all. And they said it was going to be that, and they definitely achieved that. So yeah, this one is definitely the most heavy album out of all Sum 41 albums. And it starts off with a dark piano tone in the first song, and the first song, Turning Away, really just builds up in a very good way. It starts out with the dark piano, like I said, and then it starts really progressively building up into something that's really gonna make you want to listen to more of this album. The same with Out for Blood. That song really wanted me to hear more of this album for sure, especially when I first heard it, which, of course, Out for Blood was the first song I heard off this album. It was the first one that released, and it definitely got me to want to hear more of this album, so I thought that was a good idea for the first single. It's really an uprising kind of song, much like a lot of this album really is in general. I'd say Out for Blood, A Death in the Family, and Heads Will Roll. And probably I'd add A Matter of Time in there with it. 45 A Matter of Time I'd add in with it, to being the most really uprising kind of songs of this whole album as a theme and musically, really in general. The second song, of course, is Out for Blood, which is the first single off the album. Like I said, I reviewed this song before, and this song definitely was really good almost all together and really built me up to want to hear more of this album. Of course, this song, along with many other songs on this album, had a guitar solo in it, and this one probably has the best guitar solo out of them all, I think, out of all the songs on the album. Next we have The New Sensation, with this song really made me want to hear more of the album as well. This song lyrically, definitely a lot like a lot of the other songs in the album especially. It's definitely kind of uprising as well. I'd add that in actually with the kind of uprising tone songs that are in this album, which there were many for sure. Almost pretty much the majority of the album has that kind of tone to it, but there's a couple of songs that do sound a bit different than that. They have different themes, different meanings, and even different musically a lot, which I will get to those. Fourth song, A Death in the Family. This is probably my favorite song in the album actually, because really just the instrumentation in here, the guitar solo, Derek Whibley's vocals in the song, just great all together. Musically, this is definitely my favorite song in the album. I do like a lot of the lyrics in this album as well. This song definitely does have some good lyrics in it as well, along with a lot of the other songs in this album, but this song is my favorite song in the album for those reasons. So yeah, Heads Will Roll is the next song in the album. The song kind of starts out a bit slow and really starts going up and up, which this song as well had a really good variety of range with Derek Whibley's vocals, and I thought this song is definitely a good song to put on the album to add some more variety on the album, as well as a few others that I will mention here. Song 45, A Matter of Time, of course, is about old Donald himself, 45th President of the United States, which is why, they called it 45, of course, and basically saying he is just a number to them. So that's what that song is about. Clear as a bell, is you could probably tell, by just the name really, that it was going to be about him. So this song was really good musically though. Some people of course may not like this song because it's a message or whatever, but I think a lot of people can agree that musically this was a great song to really release as a single musically, and a good song to put on the album musically. So yeah, this song is definitely a good one to put in there. Of course, this song, I think, had a guitar solo in it, went along with pretty much almost all this album, which I thought was a great thing. I thought the addition of guitar solos, more guitar solos anyway, into this album was definitely a good way to go as of instrumentation in this album compared to some of the previous ones. 13 Voices did have some, and Scream Bloody Murder did have some. Chuck had a few, I think, and there's even one in Does This Look Infected. This one definitely has the most amount of guitar solos in it, and probably some of the best guitar solos that I've heard Sum 41 ever do. Seventh I'm going to talk is the song Never There, and this song which is about Derek Whibley's father. It kind of reminds me of the song Dear Father a bit, but musically it is a bit different. There's more piano in this with the song. The vocals are definitely really on point. The lyrics are great. And just everything about this song, musically, lyrically, instrumentation wise, it's just a great song altogether, and really gets to you when you listen to it, especially like after the first couple times of listening to it. It really kind of gets to you a bit. It's about, of course, Derek Whibley's father that he's never met before, and talking about that, about absent father in general. And of course, you know, a lot of people think that this is the only song he did about his father, but that they're kind of wrong about that. The song Dear Father off of Underclass Hero, which I kind of think that album's an underrated album for what it is. It was panned by a lot of people, but I thought that album did have some variety of songs in it, and some of the songs kind of did drag on a little bit. The bonus tracks in that album were absolutely great. Most of the Underclass Hero album I thought was great. There's a little bit of filler, but besides that, I thought the album was great. Of course, the song Dear Father was in there, and that song was as well about Derek Whibley's absent father, and he just decided to do another song about it and make it more relatable, make it get out there to more people compared to Dear Father. And the song Eat You Alive, I mean, this song was one of the ones that I didn't really get into as much. I didn't listen to it as much compared to some of these other songs. Not the ninth song, The People Versus, this is a full-blown punk rock song here. Of course, this is another song about old Donald himself, and I thought this one was definitely a good one to go back to sort of the more punk attitude they had back in the day, which they still do have for sure. But this song definitely kind of sticks out as of that more than the other songs in this album. And Catching Fire has got to be my least favorite song in this album, simply because it just doesn't really ramp you up as much. And when this ended, I was like, geez, that's it for this album. I wish they would have added more onto the album a little bit as of songs. I thought this song wasn't really a good song to put at the end, and when I stopped listening to it, I'm not even kidding you, when the piano for Turning Away started again, of course I had it on replay, I was like, is this another song that putting the Turning Away piano part in it or something? Because I had it on replay and I was like, is this another song? Yeah, I thought besides the ending of this album being Catching Fire, the really not as interesting song as it was, I thought this album was great, and I thought that they really had some good ideas put into this album. They had a variety of songs. I know most of them were about, about the uprising in today's American politics, but of course, people would say that due to the fact that Sum 41 is a Canadian band, that they should not really talk about these things as much because they are Canadian. I feel like a lot of people don't know that what happens in the United States kind of affects the rest of the world in a lot of ways, which I feel like people don't understand enough, like I said. I think that they definitely had a reason to talk about these kinds of things, and yeah, so I'm going to rate this album a 4.6 out of 5. I thought this album is definitely a good addition to the Sum 41 discography. So if you guys haven't listened to this album already, it's available on Spotify, it's available on YouTube. It came out a couple weeks ago, of course, around the middle of July, and I've reviewed it now due to the fact I have more time now. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this album if you've listened to it, and if you haven't, I'll link a full playlist to the album in the description of this video for you guys to listen to. So great album here. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.